So today we're going to go through these first 5 practice problems together. This is in lieu of notes, okay? So instead of putting like slides up and doing notes with you, we're just going to go through these first 5 practice problems, okay? They're all little different types, but they cover all the types of practice problems you would encounter in this unit, okay? You with me? So like we're going to do 5 together, and then after doing these 5 together, you should be able to do the rest on your own. Does that sound good? Okay, so take a look at number 1. We're going to convert 240.0 grams of aluminum bromide to moles. All right, the very first thing you need to do is just look at your units. Okay, so you need to figure out what unit are you starting in, what unit do you need to end with. Okay, so if you look at that problem, what unit are you starting with?
Grams.
Okay, so we're going to start with grams. What unit does your answer need to be in? Moles. Okay. If you want, just like off to the side, you can make a little plan. So we're going to go from grams to moles. Okay. This is where mole island might be helpful. Can you convert directly from grams to moles?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to go directly from grams to moles. Okay. So now to actually do this conversion, we're going to use dimensional analysis. What is the only number given in that word problem? Okay, 240.0 grams. That is always what you're going to start with. Okay, so whatever number is given in the word problem, that's the number you're going to start with. Okay. All right, you're starting with 240.0 grams. If I were you, like my best advice to you, don't like forget that 0.0. So if it's given as 240.0, write 240.0, because at the end we're going to round to sig figs. And if you don't include the 0, is it probably going to cause you to round to the wrong number of sig figs?
Absolutely.
Most likely. So I would just get in the habit, however you see it over here, just copy it exactly down here. Okay. All right, so now if you look at your mole island, how do you get from grams to moles? Okay, good. Divide by molar mass. Okay. What do you need to find molar mass?
No mass of each.
Okay, so you're going to use your periodic table. I'm going to just write it kind of in the top right. So how many aluminums are in aluminum bromide? Okay, just one. What's the mass?
26.98.
Okay, so we're going to take 26.98. How many bromides?
3.123.
Wait, just 3. Hold up, just the subscript. So 3. And then what's the mass of bromine? Bromine? Okay, 79.90. So if I were you, I would type it in exactly how you see it in the calculator. All right, what are you getting for molar mass?
266.68.
Okay, 266.68. Do y'all agree? Okay. Does that need to go on the top or the bottom?
Bottom.
Why bottom? Okay, there's 2 ways you could think about this. So one way is we're just going to look at units. If gram is on the top, what unit has to go on the bottom?
Grams.
Grams. Okay, grams have to go on the bottom to cancel. The other way you can think about it is if you're using mole island, if you divide by molar mass, if you're dividing, does it have to go in the top row or the bottom row? Bottom. Okay. All right, and that 266.68 grams is in 1 mole of aluminum bromide. So grams cancel. You're left in moles, and does that match the unit you need your answer in?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, so that means it's time to calculate. So 240.0 divided by 266.68. Does anybody have an answer yet?
0.8999.
Okay.
No, you'd have to round.
0.8. We'll do the rounding together. Okay. Do you get 0.89995?
Yeah.
Okay. Last step is we're just going to round to sig figs. How many sig figs are in 240.0?
5.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
Okay. How many are in 266.68?
5.
5. How do you know which one your answer is?
The lesser.
The lesser. So 4 sig figs for your answer. This 9 is your 4th sig figs. What does that 5 cause you to do? Round up. So you're going to round it. It ends up being 0.9000. And then what's your unit? Okay, like moles of aluminum bromide. So make sure you get moles in there, and if you can get your chemical, even better. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. This time we're going to convert 11.50 moles of calcium nitrate to formula units. All right. What do you need to do before you even do dimensional analysis?
Write your conversion.
Okay, we're going to make like a plan. We're going to write what we're converting. What unit are you starting in?
Moles.
Okay. What unit do you need to end with?
Formula.
Okay. So we're going to go from moles to formula units. I'm just going to write form for short. Okay. All right, so if we look at mole island, can you go straight from moles to formula units? Yes. Okay. So it'll be another short calculation like this previous problem. Okay. All right, what unit are you going to start with?
11.5.
Good. Okay, 11.50 moles. Okay, I want you all to turn to someone next to you. If you're a loner, like turn around, make a group of 3. Tell the people next to you how many formula units are in a mole. Go. It's your new favorite number.
We know it. Let's go to you're doing the dimensional analysis.
Okay.
6.02 goes on top, right?
If moles is on top here, what unit has to go on the bottom?
Mole.
Moles. How many moles?
1.
Just 1 mole. So for every 1 mole of calcium nitrate, how many formula units are there? All of you say it out loud. Okay, 6.02. Thank you. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. How many of you have that number memorized yet? Okay, good. I promise if you say it out loud, you will have it memorized. Okay. Moles cancel. We're left in formula units. And is that the unit you want your answer in? Yes. Okay, so it's time to calculate. Go ahead and take 11.50 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Are you expecting a large or a small number? Good. Large. You should be expecting a large number. Do one more. All right. Who's got an answer? What do you have?
6.9. 6.923 times 10 to the power of 24.
Okay. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. What's your unit? Okay, formula units. If you can squeeze a calcium nitrate in there,
Yeah.
try to squeeze that in there. Okay. Now, if you are not getting this number on your calculator, it is simply like an order of operation issue. I'm just having to find the right buttons on your calculator. Once we finish that 5th one, we'll have work time for the day. If you are not getting this answer, call me over. Okay, I'm gonna help you like find the button on your calculator. It's just a simple matter of finding it. All right, for number 3, we're gonna convert 25 grams of P4O10 to molecules. Okay. What's the first step? Okay, we're good. We're gonna make a whole plan, right? So what unit are you gonna start with? Grams. What unit are you gonna end with? Molecules. Okay, this is where mole island is helpful. Can you go straight from grams to molecules? Okay, no, you can't. Remember, we drew like that huge shark in the way. But what unit do you have to convert to in between?
Moles.
Moles. Good. Okay, make sure you do this step first. Okay, If you aren't quite sure like what units you're going to convert to, do you have any hope of like somehow magically getting your numbers correct? No. Okay, like there's no hope for that. So make sure before you start plugging in numbers, just think through units for a second. Okay, so make sure you understand you have to go from grams to moles to molecules. Then once you understand your units, then can we start the dimensional analysis? Yes. All right, what number are you going to start with? Okay.
Oh, wait, never mind.
25.0, that only number given. How do you get from grams to moles?
Divide by moles.
Okay, divide by molar mass. How do you find the molar mass?
On the periodic table.
Good, you got to use the periodic table. All right, so I'm going to do it on the whiteboard just because I'm out of room. How many phosphoruses are in P4O10? 4. What's the mass of phosphorus? Okay. And then how many oxygens are in that compound? 10. What's the mass of oxygen? Okay, so if you need to figure out the molar mass, again, I'd recommend you type it in just exactly how I have it written down up here. Okay, what are you getting for molar mass? 283.88. Do you all agree with that number? Okay, grams cancel, you're left in moles. How do we get from moles to molecules? Multiply by, what's your new favorite number? 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. If 1 mole is on top, what goes on the bottom? One mole again. So for every 1 mole of P4O10, how many molecules are there?
200.
Good. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. I'm just going to say MC for molecules. So moles cancel. You're in molecules. All right, so this time to calculate, we're going to calculate the top row. So 25 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, hit equals, get an answer, and then divide by 283.88. What are you getting?
5.20
Times 10 to the 22nd. And it should be molecules P4O10. All right, do you all agree with that number? Okay, number 4, we're converting 6.205 moles into grams. So what unit are you starting with? Okay, moles. What unit does your answer need to be in? Grams. Can you go directly from moles to grams?
Yes.
Okay, you did a problem like this already. I want you to try this one on your own. Okay, so you try it. I'm going to walk around. If you need my help, call me over, and then we'll check answers. Okay, let's check your work. So you start with 6.205 moles of potassium carbonate. How do you convert from moles to grams? What do you have to find? Okay, you have to find the molar mass. If 1 mole is on top, or if the unit mole's on top, what has to go down here? Moles. And it'll just be 1 mole. And then that means what has to go in the top box?
Grams.
Okay, grams, which is your molar mass. What's the molar mass of K2CO3?
138.21.
Perfect. 138.21 grams. Okay, so what do you get for your final answer? Good. 857.6. And it's grams K2CO3. Okay, are you hanging with me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, one more. We're going to do number 5 together. Then we'll be done. Okay. All right, so for number 5, we're going to convert 3.45 times 10 to the 25th formula units to grams. Okay. So what unit are you starting with? Oops, formula units. What unit do you have to convert to? Okay, grams. Can you go directly from formula units to grams? Okay. If you aren't sure, what's a good resource?
No, you're not supposed
No, you can't. What unit do you have to convert to in between?
to. Moles.
Moles. Good. So we're going to go from formula units to moles to grams. All right, what number are you going to start with?
3.45 times 10 to the 25th.
Okay, 3.45 times 10 to the 25th. Formula units. I'm writing form for short. Okay. How many formula units are in a mole? Everyone say the number. It's your new favorite number.
6.002.
Good. Is that going to go on top or bottom?
Top.
Bottom. Why bottom? Okay, you're dividing. That unit has to cancel. So there's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd formula units in every 1 mole. Okay. And now, how do we get from moles to grams?
Oh, we multiply
Okay,
the molar mass.
by molar mass. We're not going to do number 6 together, so I'm just going to do molar mass on number 6. If you can find the molar mass of Fe2SO43, can you find the molar mass of anything? This is about as complicated as it gets. How many irons are in iron 3 sulfate? 2. So I'm going to take 2 times. What's the mass of iron?
55.5.
Okay, 2 times 55.85 plus, what's the next element you see? Okay, sulfur. How many sulfur atoms are in this compound? 3. Where does that 3 come from? Okay, right here, outside the parentheses. So we're going to go plus 3 times. What's the mass of sulfur? Okay, is it 32.07? Okay, what's the third element? Oxygen. How many oxygen atoms are there? 12. So if you have 2 subscripts, you're going to multiply. So we'll take 12. What's the mass of oxygen?
16.0.
Okay, so I would recommend, if you're going to type this in your calculator, I would type it in exactly the way you see it here, because then you can do it all in one line. And what are you getting for that molar mass?
399.
Good. Does that go on top or bottom? Okay, so there's 399.91 grams for every 1 mole. Okay. So moles cancel. We're left in grams. I'm going to scoot it over a little. So now we're going to type it in the calculator. So take that top row, multiply it across, put equals, divide by the bottom. Go ahead and give me your answer without rounding yet. You're getting like 22,000 something. 22,000. Okay. See if you get 22,918.
1.3023.
It's good enough. We're gonna round. Okay. If you're not getting 22,918, that means it's just a calculator issue. You're gonna call me over. I'm gonna help you find the correct button. Last step is rounding to sig figs. How many sig figs are in 3.45? 3. How many sig figs does your answer need to have? 3. So that's to the 9. So you're going to round it to 22,900 and it's grams of that Fe2SO4. 3. I ran out of room.